This is Nightline.
Tonight, cold case cracked. The new arrest in the brutal murder of a young mother never solved.
I said, I don't want you to go. Please don't go. And then I never saw her again.
Now, 34 years later, investigators calling it a love triangle.
Hello, Ms. Perkins. This is John Quinones from ABC. Hello.
How a group of college kids helped blow it wide open. What did they find that investigators missed?
I looked at my partner and I said, we got this.
Plus, Margaret Cho on tour, bringing the zingers to her legions of fans, known for her deadpan delivery.
You have these billionaires who are the richest people in the world, but they can't afford jokes at their expense.
Guesting on the new season of Percy Jackson.
Stop doling out sight for free. They haven't paid yet.
Yes, I did.
Not for that, you didn't. Extra passenger, extra fare.
Her hilarious response to this. What do you hear from young comics who are coming up who clearly realize that you've paved a road for them? And the surprise announcement from As It Was singer Harry Styles.
As it was. From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, an arrest more than 3 decades in the making after the mysterious unsolved murder of a young mother rocked a community and left her daughter shattered. The cold case cracked wide open by fresh eyes, a classroom of them. Here's ABC's John Quinones.
There's still a lot of questions that I have that they can't even tell me the answers to.
For Jessica Roberts, this place, a little strip of woods in the shadow of a landfill, is haunted. Haunted by time, by memory, by her mother's unsolved murder.
My mom was a person. She had a life, and somebody just dumped her body over here like she was garbage. I'm having a hard time processing my feelings. It's gross. I feel disgust. I feel anger.
September 17, 1991, her father reported her 25-year-old mother, Cynthia Gonzalez, missing. Her body found in Johnson County.
A case that for 34 years had no suspect.
She was stripped naked, appeared to have gunshot wounds to her chest, and her body was heavily decomposing because of the weather.
I just had this horrible feeling. I'm 6 years old, and my intuition was that something bad's gonna happen. And I'm never gonna see her again. And I told her that. I said, I don't want you to go. Please don't go. And then I never saw her again.
The killer was never found. Decades passed with no arrest and no charges, until now.
Arlington police announce a long-awaited arrest.
It was a total shock. I just broke down in tears.
That break in the case, so many years later, came from a most unlikely source, a group of college students.
And I remember Detective Stafford calling me and saying, Chief, there's something to this. I think the kids are onto something here, and he was excited.
What was it that these 5 students found that blew the lid off an unsolved cold case? What investigators call an alleged love triangle, a devastated boyfriend, and the other woman now at the center of the investigation. Hello, Ms. Perkins. This is John Quinones from ABC. Hello. What was she like, your mom?
She was hilarious. She was so fun, so loving. She loved to dress me up every day like a doll. Like, I was always dressed to the nines with my hair always done cute, always had on a cute outfit. And she just was very fun and adventurous.
Cynthia was a young mom. She got married and then had Jessica when she was only 19 years old. In 1991, when Jessica was 6, her parents had just separated.
Cynthia Gonzalez was, I would say, a dancer by trade.
She was an exotic dancer. And my mom was an entrepreneur, and she had a business where she did birthday party entertainment.
The day she disappeared, Cynthia had Jessica with her, but one of her performers couldn't make an appointment, so Cynthia had to go instead. She never came home.
Her vehicle is located about 1/3 of a mile from where it was last seen parked. as this was worked as a missing persons investigation. 5 days later, her body was located in Johnson County off of a county road, and then it became a formal homicide investigation with Arlington PD.
The greater Dallas-Fort Worth area is huge. The distance between Arlington, where Cynthia disappeared, and Johnson County, where her body was found, is like 40 miles. The 25-year-old victim could have been killed anywhere along that route. Jessica's father was left to deliver the devastating news to a 6-year-old. How did that impact your life?
Terribly.
You were very young.
I was really young. I was so broken, and we had a box of her clothes that we kept for a very long time, and they smelled like her, and I would often crawl into this box and sometimes I would take a nap in this box just to smell my mom.
I'm at a park near downtown Fort Worth where I'm about to meet a key player in this whole story. His name is Rocky Ortiz. He was Cynthia's boyfriend at the time of her murder. He was also repeatedly questioned and cleared by police. But what he knows about the victim and her suspected killer are very important parts to this entire saga. Rocky Ortiz, John Quinones. Good to meet you, man.
How you doing?
Yeah, thank you for coming out to us.
You want to take a walk? Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's talk about this. What do you remember most about Cynthia?
Mostly her smile.
Yeah.
She was a kind heart, a good spirit, just a beautiful person.
What impact did losing Cynthia have on you?
I think it's had an impact on my life this whole time, to tell you the truth.
Your life?
Yes, sir.
How so?
Angry, hurt.
Rocky says he broke up with the woman he was dating after meeting Cynthia. He says they officially became a couple a few weeks later.
As soon as they found her body, the next day they brought me in. Detective Ford called me and asked me, do you know what color fingernail polish she was wearing? Yeah, I told him, I said, yeah, I know what color her fingernails are. They're hot pink because I painted them. And he said, well, Tony, we found her. And I don't remember much after that, you know.
34 years, no leads. The unsolved murder of Cynthia Gonzalez had seemingly gone stone cold. So what was it that you guys saw in this case that the investigators might have missed?
I think we looked at all angles, not just male suspects, but female suspects.
Over at the University of Texas, Arlington, the students in this lab all have dreams of solving crimes, but few of them thought it would happen so soon.
We took in 15 students. They had to fill out an application form. I picked each one of these students, but they were also then vetted by the police department before they could come in.
Those students were then split up into 3 groups to investigate 3 cold cases chosen by Arlington PD. Cynthia's murder was the oldest. You have access to the police officer, to the files, to the evidence?
Absolutely. We had access to reports and non-physical evidence, and we had video, photography, audios from the time.
And buried in those files, they found a name. Amidst the potential suspects, all of them men, there was a woman, Janie Perkins. She had been part of the record. The police had already talked to her, right?
Yes, police had talked to her on several occasions. I think that they saw something there, but weren't really sure how to follow it.
Janie and Cynthia knew each other, right?
Yes, they were a part of a love triangle.
When we went through the files, she kind of stood out. She had failed 2 polygraphs, and then there were just some statements that had been made. We believe only a killer would know. We just knew that we really needed them to look into this person more.
Polygraphs are a great investigative tool. However, in the court of law, they are not admissible. The science behind it is not reliable enough in the eyes of judges in the court to allow it to go before a jury to help them make a determination of guilt or innocence.
Just 6 weeks into the semester, the students compiled a list of questions for Detective Stafford, including some about Janie Perkins. And what happened next blew this case wide open.
So I grabbed my partner and we took the case files into a conference room and we cut them open, and we spent about 6 hours going through the entire case. At that point, my partner and I came across some things that we believed were a direct and forensic link for the suspect to the victim the night that she went missing. I looked at my partner and I said, we got this. Like, we have probable cause to arrest her. Do you agree? And my partner, without a doubt, said, absolutely.
In November, 34 years after Cynthia's brutal killing, police arrested 63-year-old Janie Perkins on charges of capital murder and obtained a warrant for her DNA. Janie Perkins has been released on bond pending an indictment. Her lawyer did not respond to a request for comment from ABC News, but a statement giving out to media back in November said Perkins is innocent of the allegations and looks forward to the opportunity to clear her name in a court of law.
Our thanks to John Q. For much more on what the students found in the case file that investigators at the time couldn't, watch Impact by Nightline, Never See You Again, now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. When we come back, comedy legend Margaret Cho on her Choligarchy stand-up tour. Her hilarious question to the new generation of comics she inspired. You know, Margaret Cho has been doing stand-up since she was 14 years old, paving the way literally for generations of comedians to come after her. From acting to music to her comedy specials, she is a multi-hyphenate who continues to use her voice to speak out and crack people up. So please welcome the hilarious Margaret Cho.
Thank you. I love you. I'm so excited that I get to meet you. I can't believe we haven't met in all these years.
I know. It's this Mutual Admiration Society.
Yes.
And Lucia
Katerina Cho.
I love it.
She's
Thank
a good
you
girl.
for bringing her along. You know, we're the same demo. We're like middle-aged ladies with an attitude,
Right.
And I love that you're like tackling aging and hormones and putting your parents, you know, and you like to say, I want to put myself in an old folks home. Tell me about your content.
Well, my parents just moved from their house that they lived in for decades to assisted living. And it looked really good to me because there's people there like my age. I'm like, they get dinner every day and they get a drum circle. And my dad's really popular because he has all his own teeth.
Amazing.
And he walks unassisted.
Wow.
So he's like George Clooney, super popular. But their new house is being rented by the comedian Whitney Cummings.
Oh, wow.
So they're very starstruck. They're, oh, do you know Whitney Cummings? She's so famous. They're like super starstruck.
You're so good at that accent. I used to imitate you. When I was a kid, I wanted to do your, is that the Marijuana or whatever it was that.
It's just like, you know, that Korean active listening. The,
That's so good.
That's what it is.
Well, let's go back. You had this moment where you had the first TV show centered on an Asian American, all-American girl. When you think back on that, well, how do you reflect on it? How do you see it in your body of work?
I mean, I wish that we'd been able to take a little more of time, you know, and develop the show, and wish that we'd had more of an easier time in the public. You know, there was a lot of controversy around the show. It was really tough because it was the first time you ever saw an Asian family.
Let's take a look at it. It was back in 1994. It was groundbreaking. Let's take a look.
So how's things going with you and Kyle?
Okay. If nothing else, it drives my mom crazy.
What is it with you and her?
It's a never-ending cycle. She finds fault in something I do, so I do something else to upset her even more. She comes down on me for that, and it starts all over again. It's sick, and yet there's something almost beautiful in the dysfunction of it all.
What do you think of when you see that? Look at the young Margaret Cho.
All the collagen in my skin. It's incredible. It's just like I had an unwrinkled neck. Like I can't believe how smooth my neck is, and I never appreciated it back then.
I know. You don't know what you have until you lose it.
Really,
Tell me
yeah.
about, I mean, you have spent decades, you know, sort of raising the flag of visibility. A woman in a male-dominated industry of comedy, an Asian American woman, you know, a queer woman. What's it like? What do you hear from young comics who are coming up who clearly realize that you've paved a road for them?
Well, I'm just begging them for jobs. I'm just hitting them up for jobs and opportunities and riding on their coattails. Like, no, I love that I was able to inspire so many people to get up there and do that, whether that's Bowen Yang or Ali Wong, people who are the pinnacle of entertainment now.
And yet I know they bow down to you. I have no doubt.
They are so talented. And so they just took the opportunity of seeing that they could do it because they saw somebody who looked like them to do it, and then they improved on that.
Absolutely.
So it's so inspiring.
That's what being a pioneer is all about. But let's talk about Choligarchy, because obviously it's a play on words, the oligarchy, the broligarchy that's going on right now. What made you choose that?
Well, I like a pun, so I've had shows in the past called Cho Dependent is one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
You know, to me, it's a pun is really fun. So, and it is like we're living in an oligarchy, and so you have these billionaires who are the richest people in the world, but they can't afford jokes at their expense. So that's kind of the mission statement of the tour.
Totally. You also have a role in the new season of Percy Jackson and the Olympians?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that.
Hey, girl, stop doling out sight for free. They haven't paid yet.
Yes, I did.
Not for that, you didn't. Extra passenger, extra fare.
That is hilarious. You're one of the Gray sisters. How hysterical.
I love that. And I love to work with Sandra Bernhard. She's one of my good friends and somebody who's on this journey with me. And I'm a Bernhardologist, so I know all about her career. So I was able to relay everything when we were on set together. And I love her.
That's amazing. And you know, comedy has shifted so much from stand-up to these specials that we're all streaming, but also, you know, social media. How do you evolve as a comedian over time?
I think it's embracing it. You know, I've gotten very into social media. I just have a really good time doing it, you know, and I think it's important to just grow along with technology, to grow along with your audience. So I have a great time doing it all.
That's amazing. Well, say hello to your George Clooney of a dad.
I will.
And thank you for bringing Lucia.
Oh, she loves you. Thank you. 감사합니다.
반갑습니다. 참만해요. Thanks for coming by, Margaret. That was awesome. And of course, you can catch Margaret on tour now through May. Let's start Googling. When we come back, Harry Styles' big announcement. The British singer keeping the promise he seemed to be making with those buzzy billboards. And finally tonight, Harry Styles with a big announcement. It's our nightlight. The British pop star, known for exuberant hits like Watermelon Sugar, says he'll drop a new album called Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, making good on those hints and clues dropped in a series of billboards, the same kind of tease Styles did before dropping Harry's House with its monster hit, As It Was. The highly anticipated 12-track album drops March 6th. And that's Nightline. You can watch all of our full episodes on Disney Plus and Hulu. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.